Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm doing a review on the Bayonetta Guantaletas bag gloves. So check it out. Hey, what's up guys? Carlo here. Today I'm doing a review on the Bayonetta Guantaletas bag gloves. Got mine in the black colorway. It is a one-size-fits-all model with an elastic closure. You can also get it in a red or a white colorway, which you can check out on their website. It's made of full, genuine cowhide leather throughout the entire exterior of the glove. It does have an open thumb with a green polyester satin liner on the inside of the hand compartment and a combination of polyurethane and latex foam over the knuckles that is soft in firmness. And of course, lastly, the gloves are manufactured in Mexico. Now, what I really love about these old school bag gloves is they promote proper punching technique and fist formation, right? And I feel like it's kind of like a lost art. Nowadays, a lot of brands, companies are coming out with these models that have all these high, advanced foams and advanced wrist closure, support design. And that quote that they say, don't try to reinvent the wheel, kind of stays true with this style of glove. Not this, just this particular brand, but any of these vintage old school style of bag gloves, which I really like. It really promotes strengthening both the knuckles, ligaments in your hand as well as in your wrist, but also landing properly on the two front knuckles, which is your index and your middle knuckle when you turn your punches over. So that's what I really love about these style of gloves. Now, this is going to be the first pair from Bayonetta, which you guys may know is going to be Edgar, the boxing collector's home brand. But the first pair of their brand of these style of bag gloves, which I was really excited to try out and see how they perform. Now, from a design standpoint, and looking at these gloves, since it is a one-size-fits-all, I'd say it's medium in sizing for this style of bag glove. It's not an overly huge bag glove or bag mitt, if you want to call it. It's not super compact either. It's not like the rival RB5s. The RB5s, I feel, are a little bit more slimmer and more thinner. There's more of an emphasis with the foam padding on this compared to like the RB5. And the only reason I mentioned the RB5 is because that's kind of the first glove that popped into my head when it comes to a bag glove. But in terms of sizing, I'd say it's medium. So I would say that this would be pretty accommodating for people of various hand sizes. You do have the leather on here that has more of a satin finish and it has a little bit of a texture to it. Really nice quality, has a nice strong leather smell to it. You also notice that it does have the double stitching on the back of the punch surface. Obviously, this is not going to be used for sparring, so there's no concern in terms of the actual thread itself landing on somebody's face. But you do have that stitching on there. You also have the Bayonetta logo, oval logo right here, made in Mexico. You do have a cloth patch that's rectangular, Bayonetta with the Mexican flag colors, made in Mexico down there again. Rotating around, as I showed you guys earlier, you do have that green polyester satin liner as well as the Bayonetta tag on the inside. This is a one-size-fits-all glove, so there's no actual a label that shows the size on this glove anywhere located on it. So you do have that. And sizing wise, or should I say weight wise, I did put these on the scale. The left was at 9 ounces and the right was at 9.4. So if you were to compare it to something, it's basically like the weight of a fight glove, or in between an 8 or a 10 ounce fight glove from a weight perspective. The back of the wrist, you're looking at probably about 1/4 inch of soft foam padding, as well as on the inside, maybe 1/8 of an inch of soft foam padding on the inside. You do have that elastic piece right here that just kind of helps keep the glove situated on your hand. You do have an open thumb design. When it comes to the old school style bag gloves, one thing that's common is obviously the thumb is detached. And from there, some gloves are closed off, meaning that the actual thumb has a cover over it. And then some are cut open like this, and really it's subjective. Some people like the open thumb, some people prefer to have the covered thumb. It's completely up to you and your personal level of comfort. It does have Medium-sized grip bar that is very nice and firm, so I like the firmness. I do wish the grip bar was a little bit bigger, so when I grip down I can really feel it. And that's pretty much it. So in terms of the overall aesthetic of the glove, it's pretty simple, classic, straight to the point. No frills, nothing crazy. You have the logos on there, open thumb design, and it is that vintage style back glove. Quality wise, these gloves are really, really nice. The leather on here is probably the thing that really stands out the most, excuse me. Stitching overall is pretty good. There's a couple of areas where I'd say the stitching could probably be a little bit cleaner on this glove, particularly like on the left glove right here. You'll notice on the base where the the back of the wrist meets the glove, you'll see that it kind of has a little bit of kind of a crooked stitch right there. Not perfect. And again, that's not going to affect actual performance of the glove, but if we're nitpicking and just looking at being critical, those are the areas I would probably look at. And then right here where the thumb is at, you can see that again, the stitching around the thumb base could have been done a little bit cleaner. It's not terrible by any means, but just something that I like to point out. And then around the piping on the palm side, it could have been done a little bit cleaner. But outside of that, you can see the stitching, the leather quality is great. I haven't had any issues with the logo peeling. Granted, the logo isn't on the impact surface. It is a non-weighted glove, so for me to say that it's on point with weight wouldn't make any sense because again, it's a bag glove and it's non-weighted. Again, the stitching right here at the bottom probably could have been done a little bit cleaner, but again, we're just nitpicking. Inside liner, no exposed foam, no issues there on the inside. And the outside edges all look pretty clean as well. And that's the left glove. The right glove is done actually a little bit better than the left. So if you're looking at the stitching on this one, you'll notice that it's a little bit cleaner, particularly around the thumb, as well as around the piping is done a little bit better than the left. But just like the left glove, leather's great, high quality. And then the stitching on the back hinge point right here is done better. So you can see it straight across. You're looking at probably about 1.5 inches of foam over the knuckles. And this is how this glove kind of differs from the other bag gloves. There is a layer of foam. So some of the old school style bag gloves or bag mitts are either don't have any foam and it's just the leather that's protecting your hand from abrasions and cutting, or they might have like a really thin sliver of foam, EVA, latex, where this one gives you a little bit more foam. So there's more of an emphasis on protection and support over your knuckles. Symmetry of the gloves, putting them next to each other, you can see that they're pretty much on point with height and width. And you can see the thickness of the gloves are the same. The logo, obviously the logo I showed you guys earlier, logo positioning on both gloves is right where it needs to be at. Same thing on the inside, thumb positioning looks really good with the open thumb in the same spot. So in terms of symmetry, the gloves match well. And weight-wise, they're only 0.4 ounces off, with the right being just slightly heavier. You're not going to notice it. When you put your hand in the glove, comfort-wise, so the first thing you notice is the liner. The liner feels very comfortable, nice and smooth. There's no excess material that bunches up anywhere in the hand compartment where my 4 fingers sit. So in regards to the back of the hand, the finger compartment feels really good. It has a little bit more of a shallow style of finger compartment, but the glove is very well broken in, and the more you use it, that latex and polyurethane will start to really soften up to give you that flexibility. Again, this is purely a bag glove, so in terms of being able to catch shots or whatnot, that shouldn't be a concern because you shouldn't be using these for sparring. But for whatever reason, if you and your buddy decide to do some technical sparring and whatnot, and he's throwing light punches at you, you can still open your hand up and deflect shots or parry them. So there's a good amount of flexibility, very comfortable. I do feel like the finger compartment could have been just a little bit deeper, a little bit more pre-curved. I would have liked. It's not bad, but it's just a personal preference of mine for a little bit slightly deeper finger compartment. But the room in there is good, so it's not too wide and it's not too narrow. The elastic wrist support, obviously this is not a glove that you're going to be getting to get the maximum wrist support. So if you're somebody that has like some type of tendonitis or fracture, microfracture, or you have some type of soreness in your wrist, don't expect to get a lot of support with these gloves, if any, because of that elastic strap. To me, that elastic strap is just there to prevent the glove from slipping off your hands. It's not there to lock your wrist in. So if you're gonna wear these and you do have some concerns about your wrist, then I would definitely tape your wrist off before putting these gloves on. For those of you that are gonna ask, I know you're gonna ask, should I wear hand wraps with these? For me, traditionally, when it comes to these style of old school bag gloves, I've never worn hand wraps. Now, it doesn't mean you can't. No, it just means that I've never worn it that way. And historically, I've always known that a lot of boxers, when it comes to these type of gloves, don't wear hand wraps just because they want to develop, again, the strength in their hands and their wrist. They don't want to use, I guess you want to use, say, they don't want to use hand wraps as kind of like a crutch or extra level of support when they're trying to develop that. So that's kind of the whole thought process behind it. And again, if you guys say, well, I want to wear a hand wrap, then go for it. I mean, it's your hands, do whatever you want to do. But for me, I personally just don't wear it with hand wraps. I go open-handed in there. And it's also the convenience factor, right? If you're at the gym and you're like, okay, I'm going to start using my bag, all you have to do is slip these on and start going to work. You don't have to worry about wrapping your hands and then putting these on. And then lastly, these gloves are very compact in the hand compartment. So it's almost like they're built not to wear hand wraps with them. So that's my kind of my train of thought when it comes to the hand wraps with these type of bag gloves. You also notice it does have the detached thumb, and I like the fact that you have that because you can really tuck your thumbs underneath. So when you're landing your shots, you're really making a nice tight fist and really getting your thumb tucked underneath there. I do wish the grip bar was a little bit larger, so when I fold my fingers down, I can really feel it. Wish it was a little bit larger. Thumb feels really good. Obviously it's open, so there's no issues. And there's enough room for the fat base part of my thumb as well, so I don't feel like that's restrictive. Protection and performance wise, all of these old school style bag gloves, from what I've felt and used over the years, have always erred on the side of less protective and more of a feedback style of glove. Meaning that, you know, if you're expecting the glove just to absorb all of the shock and brunt of your power when you're landing on a heavy bag, it's not going to do that. You know, it might offer a sliver of protection, but they're not designed for that. So if you're using this for the heavy bag, do expect to feel that punch go through and feel that power generate and go through that bag. But also do know that you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it in your knuckles. You're going to feel it in your forearms when you're using these gloves. And that's just part of that experience. So I love it. I love feeling that. I also do temper my expectations with these gloves. So I'll use them at certain bags at the gym. I definitely don't like using these like on the nozzle or the stiffly filled bags because I feel like I only get a good amount of rounds in before I start, my elbow tendonitis starts to flare up because of all the shock that's being transmitted through the glove. More softer bags are definitely where these, to me, excel. You know, some of the softer filled bags where when you land a shot, your punches really sink in. A little bit more realistic because your punches sink in. Aqua bags as well, where it's more like you're punching at someone's body rather than you're punching a wall. So I feel like that's where this glove really excels, is that, and really just these old school style gloves in general. So you get excellent pop, excellent feedback out of this, but less on the protective side. Cost-wise, these gloves are currently $199 US dollars, so for all intent purposes, they're 200 bucks. I do think that's a bit high on the price when it comes to a bag glove. Not to say that these aren't great, they perform very well, but I would say, venture to say that these, for me, I would say more in the $125 to $150 range. What I'd like to see is them offer different sizes, right? Don't just come with a one-size-fits-all philosophy, because you're gonna have people with different hand sizes. I do like the colorways that are available, the black, red, and white, very solid, clean colors, but offering more, and which I'm sure they could. I know that they do offer a lot of custom gear as well. But I would say it's a little bit on the expensive end when it comes to the price, especially for bag gloves, considering what's out there in the market. To me, this is more of like at the $150 price point when it comes to these gloves. But overall, very solid. If you're looking for a bag glove that's comfortable, that's a very nice quality, that you can use for bag work, that you're looking for, that offers a little bit more support and protection than some of the other bag mitts on the market that are just really thin with padding or don't have any padding at all, then these would definitely be a good choice. So if you guys have any questions or comments, you guys know what to do. Put them down below. I'll put the link in the description box. where you can find these Bayonetta bag gloves. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.